So in our previous video, we have seen that how to configure a basic debugging point. Today we will debug a expressjs application through two methods. One by directly launching the application through debugging mode, and the second method is through attaching it to a already running application or already running process ID. I will be creating a expressjs application using express generator. I will provide the link in the description below. Install the dependencies using npm install. We can see the node modules folder is absent. So npm install will actually fetch all the dependencies and create the node modules. Next is npm start. It will start the application. So in expressjs, the base routing is done at app.js. All the calls with empty path parameter will be handled by index router, and path/users will route to users router. Both these routers are defined in routes folder. Route.get means get method, route.put means put method, route.post means post method to save any data. So route.get renders index with title value express. The application is running on port 3000. It is defined inside bin folder www file. If the port is not defined, then use default port 3000. Localhost colon 3000. Express welcome to Express is rendered. When we put a breakpoint at line 6, and for path/users, which corresponds to file users.js, we will have another breakpoint here at line 6. When you refresh it, the debugger doesn't work. Similarly, for /users, response is received, but the breakpoints are not invoked. On the left panel, click Debug options and click the drop down to add configuration. It will create a launch.json file inside .vscode folder. You can name it accordingly to your application. I will leave it default. The value of the program field is fetched from package.json node start command or npm start command. Let's start the debugger. Port 3000 is already in use because the application is already running. Kill the terminal or press Ctrl+C to terminate the process. Rerun the debugger. The application started. On refreshing the page, Chrome is waiting for the response, and in user file we have hit the breakpoint. Either we can step into function, step over, or release the debugger, and the page is rendered successfully. Similarly, for base URL, the debugging point is invoked. Let us add some variables and play with it. Let text equals to my small. And add it to the title field. Restart the debugger. Refresh the page. On the left panel, we can see all the local variables including text. We can add variables to watch list. Once we release the debugger, my small express title is rendered. Now we will change the value in runtime. When the breakpoint is hit, the variable inside that function and the global variables can be modified. Here text equals to my small. I will update it to my small app. And release the debugger. The title is updated in runtime. Users API works in the similar fashion. There is another way to debug a already running application. This type of configuration is attached to particular process. And save the file using Ctrl+S. Start the server as usual, npm start. So here ./bin/www is the process name. From debug drop down, select attach by process ID and hit run button. It will ask to choose the process ID. In our case, it's ./bin/www with ID 4456. This process ID may change each time we run the server. The debugger is attached. On refreshing the page, the program gets stuck at the breakpoint. And on releasing, the page is rendered successfully. We can simply disconnect the debugger, but the application is still running, and reattach it whenever it is necessary, or even change the variable values. Like other IDEs, say Eclipse or IntelliJ, in Visual Studio Debugger also we can step in and out of a function, step over and do all those stuffs. That's all for this tutorial. And subscribe to our channel CodeSpace.